Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome back to episode 8 of our FTB Skies Expert Let's Play. So today we're going to do some more things with ARS Nuvo, and I think we might be able to get into material generation. I'm not exactly sure. We're going to have to make some create machines, and you're going to have to bear with Big Wooly while I figure it out. So without any further ado, let's get into it. All right, in the infamous Don't Get Distracted Woolly chest, we have some things. First, let's cover the things that we did in between the videos. So this right here, you're going to notice I have 3 elytras. I have that recorded because I was working and it all just kind of happened. So I'll either insert that here or look out for maybe my first short on the channel. We'll see. Hey y'all, Big Ol here, and this is in between episodes. I was just doing some resource gathering, but figured I would record it. So, I don't know if you can hear him, but there's a wandering trader over there, and he has an elytra. And we can buy an elytra from him with moon dust, but it needs to be made under a full moon. So I have been sleeping and, waiting out the days and sleeping, waiting on our full moon. And so to make the moon dust we need to get our elytra from him, we need 4 redstone and 4 glowstone. And then you toss them in here with water under a full moon, and it will only craft it under a full moon. And it makes us moon dust. And then if we go find our wandering trader, okay, so he should drink his potion, reveal yourself. There he is. So if we look on his trade-in, here's an elytra. It cost me that 1 moon dust we just made. Oh my gosh, I can buy multiples. I'm buying you out of elytras, dude. Next thing's next. You'll notice these essences. These are part of our quest line over here for ARS Nuvo, the next steps towards getting steel. And these are just simple but time-consuming if you don't use source. So, and if I've been trying to just build up source for other things that we're going to need to do that require it. So I've been doing them in the imbuement chamber by itself over here. And to turn them in, you get these from killing mobs in your mob farm or, the mob farm you've made or whatever. You get these little shards. If you take the shard and you stick it into the imbuement chamber, it's going to change over just like your source gems. And it will do it passively without added source. Or if you want it to be faster and you have a good source of source, you can do it with source to make them go quicker. So also, in between episodes, I used our source links here. So I have this source link pulling from this one jar, and it sends over to this one. This one sends to the jar right here, which is plenty for our enchanting apparatus to be able to pull from, and it can continue to pull more from over here. And as you can see, we've got 2 full jars and some extra. I've been killing a ton of mobs. So that is what I did with our quest rewards. These are real easy to link. You use your Dominion wand, and then you just right-click the one you want to change. So we want to tell this one that we want you to send over here. And it is, relay sent to send to and take from, and so it just tells you what it updated. So that's just redoing how it was already set up. And now this one sends from there to there. Same thing like with this source jar, you can tell it you send to here, and it will, take from here. So now this will take from here, go to there, and to that source jar. And that's how you can move your source without having to break the jars. And those were all quest rewards. We didn't have to craft these source relays. You can, but they gave us enough to get all that set up. All right, so next things next. Let's grab some brick and that because we need to make kiln bricks. Kiln bricks are for us to start getting into immersive engineering, make things like coal coke, Invar, things of that nature. Those are done in the mixer, which needs to be heated. Let's hope we've got a few pieces of coal. We'll turn our rotational force on here. Get the gap. And then we can just control Q and control Q, if I can do this. There we go. And that's going to make way more than we probably need of those, but, you know, we can stop it at 8, I think is how many we actually need. All right, there we go. We're going to take it out at 8. Let's go turn our rotational stuff back off. You'll notice right here, I've got a full tank of primitive slurry. I sat here in between and just, you know, gravel and bucketed it into there in case we need more resources. So, you know, we can bring it over here and make more. So I got that set up. Now, let's go look at our quest rewards, because that's going to be important for this one, because it gives us our engineer's hammer. Then we can set up our... yeah, we're running out of space, y'all. I'm going to have to do like a base redesign episode. Let me know in the comments, would you guys want to watch that? An episode of Wooly trying to figure out a new base layout. All right, so we set down all 8 of those, and we right-click the upper right one, and now it has built the multi-block, and we have an alloy kiln. This is going to be how we get things like Invar and some other resources. Not all sure what this pack makes us do in the alloy kiln. And that's going to take us to Invar. So Invar is what? Iron and nickel. And with our wandering trader that gave us those elytras, I also was able to buy some raw nickel ore from him. So I did, because I knew we were going to need it, and I'm guessing that might be the early mechanic for getting it. I'm not real sure, but it was there, and I had emeralds to get it, and so I picked that up. Let me see if I can find where I put it. There you go. So as you can see right there, we've got 40 raw nickel. That was all the emeralds I had, and I bought the guy out. But we're gonna just smelt this up in there, and that'll get us ready to go on to Invar. Now, the other thing that I really wanted to get into today is Botania, and we were going to have to go through a crazy crafting process in the enchanting apparatus where we needed essences and blocks of coal and all this to make white rock. But at the end of last episode, as you guys know, I got to that sky village. Well, that sky village had white rock everywhere. It was like the flooring, so I just vein mined a bunch of it, so we don't even have to waste our time crafting it. We can just use the stuff we got from the sky village. We got a building gadget, y'all. I hope you watched to the end and saw it. There's a fully charged building gadget in one of those chests. We've got this mana regen amulet for ARS Nuvo once we get our spellbook going, which I think I want to get the spellbook going because with the elytras we picked up, if we get the spellbook and the firework, it will be way faster than our slow broom will be for getting around, and it gives us like an alternative method if we're riding around on our broom brakes or something. We might not fall in the void and die. And as you can see, here's that essence. It did finally finish converting. We'll toss that in here with the others. That's going to be your process for getting all of these essences. Just kill your mobs in your mob farm to get your source, which will also, as a byproduct, give you those. So we have our white rock. What else do we need for our petal apothecary? We need a water essence and a petal of any kind. So let's grab back out that water essence we just got, and we should have everything we need in our inventory to make our petal apothecary. There we have it, petal apothecary. And this is the start of Botania. I mean, well, the flowers, I guess, are technically the start of Botania, but this is where we actually get into the meat and potatoes of Botania. Did I pull a bucket out of there? No. Dang it. We need to reset up, like, my main little area where it's closer to my storage, and a searchable storage would be great. I think I want to try and get into the ARS Nuvo storage thing, because I've never done it and it looks cool. So that could be where we go for storage. Here we have it. We're going to put water in there, and then I think our next task is probably going to be the infamous Pure Daisy, which is even easier. Doesn't even require seeds. It's just 4 white petals. Did they give us white petals? They gave us 1, which we can duplicate up. And they gave us some slowpoke compressed balance, whatever that is. A dispenser and another source jar. Okay. So we can put down our flour. Where's my bone meal? There's bones. We'll just convert some of those. That'll give us 4, but we don't want to run out of them, so let's go ahead and just dupe up all 4 of those. And then there we have it. Now we can take, let's make 8 of these into petals and save the others for later. And then it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I do still need a seed, even though the recipe doesn't show it. Let's go grab some seeds. Flax seeds are fine, I think. And for these, you just throw them in, so I'm just hitting the letter Q to toss those in there. In case you don't know, like I said, it's an expert pack. I'm trying to keep the tips and tricks down to a minimum, because, you know, if you're watching a video on an expert pack, you probably know what you're doing. There we go. And so now we have a couple of pure daisies. Now, I do believe these are used for the same traditional pure daisy stuff, you know, turning logs and stone into what we need, but they can also be used to convert and get us into elemental craft. We're going to need to convert a source gem block, which source gems we went over last time. It's just lapis in your imbuement chamber. 4 of those make a block. If we take these blocks and we put them around our pure white daisy, pure daisy, we should see the particle effect, and these are going to convert for us. Now, do I have any logs? Let's toss another one of these down and go get some logs. So the pure white daisy also should, unless this is modified, we're just going to see though. We should be able to get living rock and our other Botania stuff. Well, see, the stone is not converting. Here we go. So inert crystals for elemental craft, and then looks like the stone isn't going to convert, so let's go ahead and just toss down some logs for our living wood. All right, so it looks like elemental craft is still gated behind what? The pure daisy and the contained crystal. Oh, so we're going to need to go get into the elemental craft quest book. That's fine. We'll save that for another time. So we went over all of those. We went over all those. We made our kiln bricks. We made our alloy kiln. The next piece. So this is where I am not necessarily sure with what I want to go into with you guys, because both of them are fairly complicated and almost could be an episode in and of themselves. If we start out with going here into coke brick to get into steel, we have to set up some pretty complicated deployer setups from Create, where we're going to need belts to run things along and have it be automated. Otherwise, we're going to have to use depots and move things manually, and that just doesn't sound good to me, but I do like the idea of doing this on a belt. I just don't have the resources together for us to set that up, so I think I'm going to do a whole episode, maybe tomorrow, out of getting through the rest of here. And I think what I'd like to try and do today is we're going to see if we can get material generators going, because if we can get material generators going, we are going to be in great shape. So I'm going to go gather this stuff and stick it in the chest, and I will be right back. All right. In gathering our materials, I realized that I didn't save any cows or buckets of milk, and I need a bucket of milk for part of the crafting recipe, so I figured this would be a good time to show you guys this. You can use spirit to summon in the things you need. So we had a chicken saved in a soul shard, which we did in a previous episode, and if after Wooly figures it out, I might link that episode with a card up above because, you know, YouTube likes that. Then this one, which you can find just by going to cow spawn egg, and then it'll show you that you can summon a cow here, tells us what all we need. So I've gathered all that. So we're going to toss some eggs and a crude and a soul powder and the leather. And when we right click this with an empty hand, we're going to go ahead and grab a lead. it should summon us a cow. Ta-da! So we could do that again for a second cow and get ourselves a little farm going. Right now, I don't need a farm. I literally just need a bucket of milk for us to proceed with getting into material generators. So now we've got our bucket of milk. And the next thing that I noticed I needed is I need a fermented spider eye. And we don't have mushrooms. So to get those, I was looking up the recipe, and we need to take dirt and the mycelium spores that we were getting from sifting, and you can just use spores. I do believe you can spread this with bone meal by bone mealing the one next to it. And now we have our mycelium. Now the question is, how do I get this with no silk touch? Good question, Wooly. Why don't you figure that out? All right, so I figured that out. We're going to have to make ourselves a silk touch book because we did not get one in our looting, but we did get plenty of diamonds and emeralds, which are what is needed to craft it here. And you can find this recipe just by looking up silk touch, and then here we go. It tells us to put it in our enchanting apparatus, put a book in the middle. It's going to cost us 9,000 source, so almost an entire source jar. But that's why we were farming it in between episodes, was for when we need it. And now we have silk touch. So I think we're going to put it on this iron pickaxe we have. This one doesn't have anything horrible on it, and we can place a torch. It does cost 10 durability to place a torch, but we're going to just put it on here so we can proceed with our day. And I will just keep an eye to make sure we don't, destroy this pickaxe. Now we can vein pickaxe our dirt, get our mycelium. I used our diamonds also to make a sword for us, just because I kept breaking swords while I was farming mobs. And now, we needed this mycelium to try and get ourselves some brown mushrooms. So let's sift that mycelium down. There we have it. Brown mushrooms for our fermented spider's eye. Okay, the fermented spider's eye is part of the abjuration. So there we have that. And then we have our bucket of milk. And we need some sugar, which I don't know if I have any converted to sugar, but I have sugar cane. So there we go. And then we picked up also in our Sky Village, something's going to help us out. The imbuement chamber apparently can absorb items from pedestals, which I don't necessarily know that I knew. But we got these arcane platforms, which are just smushed down pedestals for free underneath the waterfall in that. So if we stick it somewhere close to a source jar, we can put our imbuement chamber down. And then we should be able to put these pedestals around it. And these work just like the tall ones, they're just shorter. We should be able to give it this bucket of milk, a fermented spider's eye, and sugar. And then what goes in the middle? So where are we? Abjuration essence. Bucket of milk, fermented spider's eye, sugar. We don't need the brown mushroom. We needed that to make the fermented spider's eye. And then we need a source gem. It says add source to nearby to speed up. There's source right there. How close do you want it? What if I grab this one that's got some in it? Oh, it wants it like nearby. It's going to use all that, but there is our abjuration essence. Oh, and the crafting materials are not consumed. Interesting. I would have just assumed that it would have taken all those. That's cool. I like that. All right, so that's one of the pieces we need to make our linking tool for pedestals, and the other one is an imbuement chamber. We need a stone button, a clock, and redstone. We should be able to craft all of that. I did smash up some gold plates because I knew we were going to need those. So, and do we have stone in our inventory still? No. So let's make that stone button. A clock, which we can just click through. And what is our other one? A piece of redstone. We're nearing the end of the amount of time we have for today's episode anyhow. So here we have it. This will get us another one of the pieces that we need. There we go. And then those were the two that I didn't have for crafting this. So in the enchanting apparatus, we're going to need a bookshelf, one of each shard, a gold rod. So this is another create thing we're going to need to make. We should hopefully have everything we need to craft it in our storage here. Let's go find out. We do. So this is a rolling mill, and what the rolling mill is going to do is if we come and we go the letter U for uses, you'll see if we give it gold plate, it's going to make gold wire. But if we give it a gold ingot, it'll make the gold rod. And we need that gold rod for the center of the enchanting apparatus to make our stuff. And we need some bookshelves, which I'm not going to make you guys fly with me, but I'm going to take our new Silk Touch pick, and I'm going to go steal bookshelves from the village, and I will be right back. The village has been successfully robbed of bookshelves. So now let's make the gold rod. So we made our little rolling mill. This is really, hopefully can run on here without me having to, let's see if it's going to break. Did I leave these running? Oh, I left these running. Dang it. Don't leave your water wheels running, y'all. Come up here and then fully repaired, fully repaired. And it says it's overstressed. Awesome. So if I were to, what can I do to not make it overstressed? Okay, so maybe I can just toss the rolling mill here for the time being. Nope, the rolling mill makes it too much even without that. So what if I break you? Cool. All right. Here's our rolling mill. To get the rod we need, we just take and we drop a piece of gold on it. And then now we should be able to pull out our gold rod. And then Wooly, before you run them dead again, turn it off. So now, this is where we put the stuff on the pedestals. We need all of these. So let's get them in here. Need that, this, and this. That. The order on these does not matter, to my knowledge. We need a bookshelf. And what is the last piece? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it is just 7 items, and then now we have our linking tool. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to use the imbuement chamber over here to make our first upgrade base. So let's get our non-consumed components out of here. And then we need a plate, an anvil, the linking tool, and I've already forgotten. Plate, anvil, linking tool, tallow, and redstone. So tallow, luckily, we got some looting that village. And redstone, right? So now, if we put all this around here, that should get us our first upgrade base. And the nice part is none of this is consumed. So our anvil's not consumed. All those resources that took to make the linking tool, they don't get consumed. So if we want more of these and we have the source, we can just simply replace the middle right there, wait on the animation, and we can get more upgrade bases over and over until we run out of source. Awesome. Now, you're like, Wooly, why have you been so dead set on these upgrade bases? Because this is automated resource production. We're there. We are about to be able to automate almost all of our basic resources using this piece right here. The material generator and you. So we need this, and we're going to need one of these. Let's go craft those up in here. And I'm going to show you how to set this up. And then we will get into like the full-on setup of it in the next episode. I'll probably set a bunch of it up in between and then show you guys in the next one. I have lost a ton of stone. Where did I lose all that stone I made? So we have all the resources there. We're going to make our first pedestal. And then we should hopefully have everything we need for our first material generator. And now that nether brick that we made so many episodes ago is going to start to make sense. So we take our pedestal. Oh, we're going to need our linking tool, I believe. We take our pedestal and we dig a hole to stick our resource block into. We're going to put a pedestal on top of this. Then we're going to take the material generator in our offhand and right click it. And that is going to produce cobbled netherrack, which if we had a silk touch pick and we put it in our offhand and we put it on here. Now if I take the cobbled off, it will actually use the silk touch to make us netherrack, and it does not use the durability on the pickaxe to do that. So in between episodes, I'm going to farm up some more source to get us some more silk touch books made, and I'm going to get ready to show you guys just a ton. We're going to be shuffling things around a bunch so that we can get all kinds of resources automated using our material generators fed into our systems, and then just have resources being produced. So that way when we need something, we're not like, oh, I got to go make this or I've got to go make that. It's all going to be there for us. This is huge. This is like cracking open the rest of the mod pack, honestly. It's going to get us close to wrapping up Chapter 1. And yeah, this is big. This is big, folks. I have been wanting to get to these since like Episode 1, and now we have it. And we're going to be able to, yeah, it's going to kickstart us. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I hope it's easy enough to follow. And I hope I covered everything I said I was going to cover with you guys. So have a good day. Bye-bye.